The New York Knicks have a big return incoming as Landry Shamet is almost back with the New York Knicks, and meanwhile, a major move could be coming with Matt Ryan, and the New York Knicks are going to have their bench get strengthened with Shamet's return, and his return will affect trade season, and we're going to have to break all of this down. So what's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into things as usual. And make sure, if you guys like the content, to subscribe. We're trying to get to 10K before the new year. Probably not going to happen, but we can dream. But guys, let's talk about some New York Knicks basketball. Landry Shamet, someone who was signed to the New York Knicks and fully expected to be in the rotation, went down with a nasty shoulder dislocation, and many feared the worst, like what happened with Julius Randle, that he would not be back for an entire season. However, that did not happen. Landry Shamet did not end up needing surgery. As you can see here, he's in a Westchester Knicks uniform because last night, Landry Shamet made his way back. He is in uniform and on the court for the Westchester Knicks, or was last night, as Shamet is getting closer and closer to coming back to the full-time New York Knicks big league roster, and this is huge for the New York Knicks. The Knicks desperately need some bench help. They need some more scoring off the bench. Landry Shamet is an excellent role player on contending teams, and now the New York Knicks get a huge bolster once Shamet comes back to a bench that is in dire need of it. Now, last night against the Greensboro Swarm, the Charlotte Hornets G League team, Landry Shamet put up 10 points, going 4 for 10 from the field, 2 for 8 from 3, getting 3 rebounds and 1 assist with a plus 13 plus minus. Now, that's a good game for Landry Shamet. I mean, he came off the bench, didn't play a ton of minutes, still put up 10 points. Yeah, the shooting was not great, but we still saw some signs that Shamet's going to be able to come back and be the guy who we all know Landry Shamet can be. He had his moments in the game. I mean, hitting some shots that were important there, getting a corner three, like, there were moments where Landry Shamet, you see the guy who the Knicks really like, and this is just his first game back. So this is not like, well, the Knicks need him to be this good now. It's they don't. We're currently seeing the fact that Landry Shamet's working his way back, which is huge for the New York Knicks. They need Shamet back because he's better than most of the guys on the New York Knicks bench. Not Deuce McBride, but I know Cameron Payne's having a great season, don't get me wrong. In general, I'd lean towards Shamet over Cameron Payne. Maybe, obviously not thus far this season because the way Cameron Payne's been playing and the fact that Shamet hasn't been playing. But essentially what I'm saying is Landry Shamet can quickly become a vital part of this New York Knicks roster in general, not just their bench. Shamet is someone who, when he comes back to the Knicks, is going to get minutes with the team. He's going to be able to stretch this roster out to 9 guys because once Shamet's back, they will run a bench of Deuce, Cameron Payne, Shamet, and Precious Achiuwa. Or that's what one has to imagine the New York Knicks would do. Now, it's certainly unclear what Tom Thibodeau is going to get up to. Tibbs has been running an 8-man rotation all season long, and it's not very sustainable, you have to understand. And it's not like Tibbs wants to do this. It's that he doesn't trust the guys who are at the end of the bench. He probably wants to run a 9-man rotation so OG Anunoby doesn't have to play 40 minutes a night, and same for Mikal Bridges. But as of right now, that's where the Knicks stand. Now, Shamet played the least amount of minutes of anyone who got minutes in this game for the Westchester Knicks. I'm not really concerned about that at all. I mean, the guys leading the way are the same guys that have been leading the way all season with the Westchester Knicks. It's been TJ Warren. It's been Chuma Okeke. It's been Moses Brown. And then it begs the question, so should the Knicks re-sign Landry Shamet then? Or should they look at Okeke? Now, here's the deal. They can't sign TJ Warren because TJ Warren's veteran minimum deal is higher than Chuma's and Landry Shamet's because of the amount of years that Warren's played in the NBA. So it becomes this weird thing. The Knicks would have to cut more money to sign TJ Warren, which I imagine they might be trying to figure out how to do, considering TJ Warren has been absolutely lethal in the NBA G League this season, showing that he does belong on an NBA roster. But as of right now, the Knicks are going to be focused on Landry Shamet, and something that shows me that is the fact that the Knicks PR announced that Tyler Kolek and Matt Ryan were going to the Westchester Knicks for a couple days. Probably they'll probably be called back up, especially Kolek. But Matt Ryan, it's interesting. He played worse than Landry Shamet last night, despite the fact that Landry Shamet's been on an injury for a while. And given Shamet didn't have some great game, he's working his way back from an injury, and he'll come back and he'll be fine. But Matt Ryan struggled mightily with the New York Knicks thus far this season, and it makes you think a lot. Now, Shamet, career averages of 9 points per game, shoots 38% from the field. That dropped with the Washington Wizards, and him going 2 for 8 definitely raises an alarm or two. But you have to give Shamet some time. I mean, he hasn't played in a while, and also at the same time, the Washington Wizards were not a good fit for Landry Shamet. Shamet fits on teams that are good because he's an excellent role player who can hit corner threes very well, hit his shots, know his spots, know his role. And on the Washington Wizards, where there really were no roles last year and it was just chaos, it's just not a good fit for Shamet. It's not really that surprising that his three-point numbers dropped a bit. I imagine with the Knicks, they'll go back up. We already saw flashes of that. Meanwhile, Matt Ryan has struggled to find any footing with the New York Knicks, only averaging 1.5 points per game this season while shooting 25% from the field and from 3. His PER is a -4 and his win shares are -2. And it's really this situation of, okay, it's not working out. Tom Thibodeau, not a fan of Matt Ryan, clearly. He's not liking what he's seeing. He hasn't been playing him. The Knicks are going to go with Shamet, and when the Knicks go with Shamet, Matt Ryan's going to get waived. If the Knicks waive Matt Ryan before February 5th, then they don't have to pay out his contract. It's a non-guaranteed deal. They waive him. They just throw him on the Westchester Knicks. Everyone's happy. Well, probably not Matt Ryan, but he also is from Westchester, so it could be worse. But when the Knicks do that, they won't be owing him any money. That'll affect their salary. Because of that, the Knicks can sign Landry Shamet, so then they could have 14 guys and just essentially replace Matt Ryan with Landry Shamet and have the same contract situation prior. They still want to get to 15 guys, and that's where trade season comes in, and this is why Shamet signing is going to have an effect with trade season, because once the Knicks decide who's in their rotation, once Tibbs decides the rotation, the Knicks are going to have to figure some stuff out. I mean, if they want to trade Achua for a cheaper contract, if they want to just trade Jericho Sims for a protected second-round pick and some cash considerations, so then they can go out and sign someone. And if they were to trade a guy like Sims, who only makes $2 million, they would still not be able to sign a TJ Warren. They might be able to sign Chuma Okeke. They might be able to sign Moses Brown, but they would not be able to sign Warren or a guy who's been in the buyout market, makes a certain amount of money, and has played a certain amount of years, because they just still won't have enough money for that. The Knicks are in a weird situation, and they're going to desperately need to figure out some salary gymnastics in order to figure out a way to get that 15th man. And I think the idea that makes the most sense is that you trade Precious Achiuwa for like a $2 million contract, because Precious, I mean, he's been good with the Knicks and good as a starter on the Knicks, but you look at him, he's more of a power forward. I mean, as a power forward, when he started those games last season, he put up 12.5 points and 9.5 rebounds with 2 blocks per game. The man fits more as a 4 than a 5. So you have to look at Precious and decide, okay, he's probably not going to come back in free agency only on this one-year deal. We might as well move him, free up some more money, then be able to sign TJ Warren, be able to sign Chuma Okeke or Moses Brown or someone who you could find in free agency. The Knicks will have some options, but it really predicates on who they're going to trade and how they're going to figure that out. But Landry Shamet is someone who you could pretty much bet all your chips on that he's going to be a New York Knick very soon. As assistant coach Mike Hall said, the Westchester Knicks assistant coach, not Knicks assistant coach, he said it's wonderful to see. We see all the work they put in behind the scenes. Hopefully we can get him ready to get back to the level of player we know he could be. Essentially what he's saying is, all right, Landry, it's nice having you, but it's also time to get out of here. You don't belong on the Westchester Knicks. You have better places to be with the actual New York Knicks roster. And once Shamet gets there, you can bank that Tom Thibodeau is going to make this roster or this rotation a 9-man rotation with just the same starting 5 that we know and love. And then Deuce, Shamet, Payne, Precious, and then once Mitchell Robinson comes back, things get even more interesting. Is Precious or Jericho Sims or both going to be on the roster? That's up in the air. But Mitchell Robinson will certainly be in the rotation also. So the Knicks rotation is slowly thickening out as the season goes along, which is absolutely huge for the team and is going to help them so much in the long run. The season's still early enough that despite the high minutes, the Knicks players can kind of figure out some rest if Tibbs is able to stop playing them 1,000,000 minutes per game. So hopefully Tibbs stops doing that so the Knicks don't burn out in the playoffs. But I do want to know what you guys think, so let me know down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Knicks.